So now that we have blog content and comments enabled on our blog content, it's important that we set up the right tools to be able to manage comments. Now the big problem with comments is that at some point we're going to start getting spam. It's just inevitable. By using Drupal, we're using a framework that we can use to leverage all kinds of tools, but also what this means is that when our site goes live out there on the web, that it has a very similar structure to a lot of other Drupal sites, and any weaknesses in it are easily exploited because hackers know about them. So comments is one of those areas that's really easy to not configure properly. And even if you do have it configured absolutely right, there's just no getting around spam. So there's 3 basic levels of protection from comment spam. The first is by using existing modules that help curb the submission of spam. So this includes CAPTCHA, which we'll configure, and also techniques like Honeypot and TimeGate, which are part of the Honeypot module, as well as a couple of other modules out there that we'll mention. And these basically provide filters to hopefully reduce the number of bots that get through to your comment form. Unfortunately, some spammers are real people, and they're going to get through whatever protection you have set up. So at the very least, we need some contingency plans, and we may take it to the next level, which is using a third-party service for spam identification. One of the most popular ones in Drupal, because it was founded by the same creator of Drupal and also works really well, is called Mollum. But there's also a couple of other service providers like Akismet and Defensio that provide a very similar service. The idea behind those is that when somebody enters a comment, it goes to a server that runs through a bunch of tests with the content, and then it returns back a response to your site that says, hey, this is good, or this is not good, or this is questionable. And in the case of Mollum, what it will do is it will allow a user to submit a form, and then if it's questionable content, it will present them with a CAPTCHA, so they'll have to prove that they're human. Okay, so that's the next step, and a lot of people will just go there by default because it's easy to configure, it provides really good protection, and for the level of most users, it's actually free. At some point, you end up having to pay for it, which is a potential downside. Finally, the third level of protection has to do with replacing your comment system altogether with a third-party system. The most popular of which you've probably seen out there, is called Discus. The plus side is that all of the tools for your commenting are integrated into a single plugin that improves over time and that handles spam comments really well. The downside is that your content no longer lives on your site, and so depending on your configuration, it probably won't get indexed by search engines. Not everybody wants their comments indexed by search engines, but a lot of people do. And it can also put a barrier between the commenter and your site because they have to jump through whatever hoops the third-party service is requiring them to jump through. They could have to log in, they could have to fill out a CAPTCHA. It just depends on your setup.